All right, so basically the basis of our fundamentals class, we have a lot of people in the Wolves who have been heathens for years, and we have some people who are just now starting. One of the big things about heathenry and Asatru, there goes my contact, is that there's a saying that no matter which way you're doing it wrong. There's going to be a lot of different ideas on how to do things, ideas on different translations of the lore. So we're kind of starting from the beginning and working all the way up to kind of give people who are brand new a basis to start from. So tonight we're just basically going to do the history of Asatru and the 9 noble virtues. Because next week we will not have a meeting or class, whatever you want to call it. I will not be around. It'll be, is it my birthday next week? Yeah. Thursday is my birthday, and it's High Feast of Yule. So we'll be busy. I'm sure everyone else will have stuff going on. I'm fixing to turn off y'all's camera because you're distracting. Little people distracting. And you'll learn, most of us live out in the country, so we have really shitty internet. So if things start freezing, just don't worry. That's just, we're all cursed with crappy internet. So for the history of Asatru, the word Asatru translated means the Asa part means the Aesir, true means true. So literally translated, Asatru means true to the Aesir gods. Other names we go by that you'll hear are heathens, Norse pagan, neo-pagan, Odinists. I use heathen and Asatruer as switchable, interchangeable. Part of that is I just like the word heathen better. It's a lot easier for me to say. And a good example of why, I was in Walmart late last night getting shit for the kids for school, and one of Brandon's family members came up and they were like, oh, well, when are we going to see you in church? You never bring the kids to church. And I just kind of laughed. I was like, well, you know, we're the heathens of the family. They don't understand that we literally are the heathens in the family. So to me, it's like my little stick up my middle finger to them, like, aha, you think I'm joking, but I'm not. So I prefer, you'll hear me use heathen or heathenry a lot more than Asatru or Asatruer. Another term you will hear is brosatru. And brosatru, and this is actually a term I just recently figured out what the hell it means. It's basically those muscle-headed meat bones that you'll see that want to play Viking. One of Josh, I don't know if you guys have met Josh yet, one of his favorite terms is reps for Odin. And they're all the muscled out, I'm going to be a Viking, heathenry is about being a Viking kind of people.
The kind of people who got into it just because they saw the movie or the TV show and that's all they want.
Yes.
They don't want to learn from it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like it. So it's essentially like the junk.
Yeah. Chest thumpers. That's a good term.
Yes.
A lot of times it's just guys that aren't confident enough in their own masculinity, and so they put on a front.
Yep.
Yes. They just want the chaos of it and the bloodshed and the fighting. They don't want the actual spiritual aspect of any of it. And they also have a huge issue with the fact that women play a huge role in this.
Yep. And they'll pretend they know things, but they'll want you to refresh their memory a lot. That's just.
Or they want to get rid of you because of what you teach.
That makes
You
me
knew that one was coming. We had an issue a couple weeks ago with a brosatruer that.
I think I saw that. No, that wasn't. Today wasn't different. No,
Today was totally different.
No, it was a couple of days ago. Yay. you went back.
Actually, it was about a month ago.
Point
I
being,
saw it on the actual website, on the blog posts.
No. That was our issue with TAC.
Oh, okay.
I'll explain that to y'all after.
No worries.
basically, Bros and True are the fun ones, though. Because they're the ones when they run into someone like me or a few other guys I know that actually have fought, that they shit their pants. So it's kind of funny.
That is very true. I just lost my notes. Hang on. I don't like my computer. Okay. At its core, Asatru is a reconstructionalist religion, meaning we're taking our lore and information from the Eddas, from the sagas. We take it out of the Havamal. We do our best to recreate our traditions based on our source material, even though some of it was highly Christianized through the times. A name that you'll come up on a lot is Snorri. He was a monk who wanted to save our traditions. So he was the one who wrote the Prose Edda, which is where we get a lot of our information from. We are following a path that was set before our ancestors in pre-Christian times.
Katie has her hand up.
I did.
I can't see people's hands.
Okay, sorry.
Okay.
I actually started listening because when I work all day, I draw maps all day long. So I just put on YouTube in the background and listen. And I actually started listening to the audiobook for the Prose Edda, which was the younger Edda written by Snorri. And then I got about halfway through it, and then I clicked on your link, Nicole, that you had posted, and listened to that one, and it says author unknown. So was there somebody else who wrote a Prose Edda before Snorri, or?
There's several translations.
Okay.
Eric posted a good one. It was kind of written in modern terms. I have it in my Amazon cart to get. I do not do well with big words.
Yeah.
I'm a very simple person. So that one's kind of geared more towards easier to understand. Food. Yes, I get a lot of food. We are a polytheistic religion, which means we believe in more than one god or goddess.
I do have a straw if you want that.
Yes, I want a straw. Earliest carbon dating dates some of the archaeological finds back 42,000 years. Unlike other organized religions, we don't have one singular quote-unquote holy book. We gather our information from different sources. One of the main ones is the Codex Regius, which is now called the Prose. Why isn't this working?
What were?
I don't know. I can't see anyone, so if you need me, just yell. Asatru was once the religion of all Northern Europe. In about 1000 AD, Iceland became the second to last Norse culture to convert. Their prime motivation was economic, and even though they had converted, they were ruled by a pagan king until 1085 AD. In 1387, Lithuania was the last pagan nation in Europe to convert to Christianity.
And wasn't Iceland the first one to bring back Asatru?
Yep. That's later down in my notes.
Sorry.
They're not very well. What's it called?
Roten it doubted?
Yeah, wrote it down.
Roten.
Icelandic poet, I'm going to murder this poor guy's name. Gothi Svensborn Beintinesen? Something like that.
Beintinsen.
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 requested that the government recognize Asatru as a legitimate religion. It was actually granted in 1972. And Asatru is one of the 2 recognized state religions in Iceland, right behind Lithuanian. Nicole, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't that kind of a type of Christianity?
What was that again? I was copying this and for them. What?
Lithuanian?
It's a nationality.
Yeah.
Then that's not the religion.
Lutheran.
Lutheran, that's what it is.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, you're thinking.
I was close.
Did you spell?
No, I didn't write it in my notes. It was one I remembered.
Lithuanian note.
There is the term Asatru was coined in 1870 by Edward Greer, Grige, and it was
I'll
coined.
copy and paste it for everyone.
Yeah, well, we could just post the notes after.
Yes.
It was coined in the opera Olaf Tryggvason, who was one of their operas. While Asatru has been carried down in family lives for centuries, it got its big start in the U.S. and Scandinavia in 1970. In 1973, the Asatru Free Assembly was founded in the U.S. by Stephen McNallen after a failed attempt at another organization he started called the Viking Brotherhood in the early 1970s. In 1987, Stephen Flowers founded the Troth, which was the Universalist organization, and that is still one of the biggest organizations that there is.
That's spelled Troth, right?
Troth.
And it's also one of the best organizations for scholarship right now as far as getting into the solid Reconstructionalist information.
Definitely. If they are definitely geared towards education and scholar knowledge, whereas some of the other organizations that will not be named are only interested in membership numbers. You do have to pay dues for the trough, but it is, in my opinion, it is 100% worth it. I believe it's like $15 for an individual and $20 for a family for a year. And once you've been with them for a year, you can start taking some of their classes that they offer. It is definitely worth it.
Who was the founder of the Troth again?
Stephen Flowers, Stepan. Stephan. If it's an E, it's Stephen. Right?
It can be both.
Okay. In 2013, a census showed there were 16,700 heathens globally. In 2016, the numbers had risen to nearly 20,000 heathens, with most organizations being made up with 60 to 70% males. The research showed most members were mid to late 20 white males, single white males, who made up the majority of Asatru.
There was a joke back in the early 90s about all the guys were going to Asatru because of Wicca's views on the position of women and men in the whole 9 yards.
That's really funny because Asatru is supposed to be so, not necessarily women driven, but it is equal, and women have just as important a role as men do.
But I'm not too knowledgeable on Wicca personally. I don't know if women hold a higher spirit.
What were you saying?
Well, in Wicca in the 80s and 90s, we had a lot of feminists and dynamic witches who were all about female power, and there's nothing wrong with that, but it left the dynamic fairly unbalanced, and a lot of guys were going to Asatru instead.
Oh, okay.
They didn't want to feel like second-class citizens.
Yeah, they didn't want to feel like second-class citizens, and a lot of the groups out there at the time, that's what the guys were.
It's always Diana's fault.
I'll put it down.
Either that,
But
or
if they didn't go to that, they went to. Go ahead.
Was
Sorry.
there saying something?
Yeah, sorry about that, Nicole. I just said it's either Dianics or us Gardnerians.
Mm-hmm.
Say that one again, because I'm still having a hard time pronouncing it.
Gardnerian?
Gardnerian.
I'll write it down. It's Gardnerian. It's because of Gerald Gardner. He's
I'm not
the
going to
one
be
who
able to
brought
read it if you write it.
Gardnerian.
Gerald Gardner brought Wicca to the forefront in the 1950s, and people who practice that are usually called Gardnerians.
Yeah, I know nothing about Wicca.
Don't worry. Sorry for the distraction. Back to topic.
No, you're fine. The last thing I have on the history, which I thought was interesting, doesn't really go along with the history part. There's some evidence to support the theory that the Aesir-Vanir War actually describes the war between megalithic cultures of Scandinavia and the invading Germanic tribes, but evidence is scarce and not highly recognized. I thought that was kind of interesting during their archaeological digs, and I'll have to pull up the links. Somehow they came to the conclusion that that was where the lore of the wars came about. So that's kind of a brief glimpse at the history. If you are looking for a very, very scholarly, in-depth history, I recommend the Troth Volume 1, Section 1. I couldn't make it through it. I gave up. It goes back to pre-Iron Age. If you're interested in that type of... Aaron has it. If it's very...
Looks like it won't be.
To me, it's a very dry read because all it is just history. But there's some people who absolutely thrive on that kind of stuff.
Nicole's over there.
Yeah, Origin.
Right now.
Yeah. I actually have a link to the Troth Volume 1 that I sent you. No, it's a link to the Troth, but that first section is in Volume 1. I sent you that link.
No, I know that. I was asking Eric. Yeah, you sent it to me.
I'm just going to have to keep quiet. My internet's causing me to jump all over people tonight. I was just saying that you were over there drooling about the heavy history. I know I'm not far behind, but...
history.
No, I like little words.
Oh, no, I was
don't
agreeing with her.
I'm probably well love that book.
Well, you can call Aaron and get it back.
Say shithead, give me my book back.
Yeah. One question I wanted to ask that kind of fits in with history is, I know I've talked to a lot of the other people, but Katie and Devin and C, I haven't really talked to you. Hi, we've missed you. What brought you two separately to Asatru?
Want to go first? When I moved down to Texarkana.
I'm sorry.
I know, yeah. I got married and moved down there. Well, I moved down there and then got married. And then me and my husband started an Amp Guard park down there. Don't know if anybody knows what Amp Guard is.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Woo! Okay. Well, it's just a park there in Texarkana. And we had this whole family show up, and Thomas was in there. Thomas is the reason what brought me to Heathenry, because he is a heathen. His wife is Wiccan, and there was a whole bunch of them that were Wicca, but he is heathen. And I talked to him and I asked him what made him different than them, and it turns out there's a big difference. And I sat down and he was telling me stories of the gods and why it's so much different than any other religion, because we do everything. And I was just really fascinated with it, and I listened to him. And then that was probably 2 years of asking him questions before I finally decided this was the path I wanted.
That's good.
I, being born and raised in the buckle of the Bible Belt, my grandparents are very much Southern Baptist Christians. I moved in with my boyfriend about 3 or 4 months ago. Anyway, moved in with my boyfriend September, told them a couple of weeks after we had moved in together, and they proceeded to tell me that I was, not only was I the embarrassment of the family, but I was turning into trash. This tells you, just moving in with him, that's enough for them to just completely, they're better now, but I had been, I had like a love-hate relationship with with that religion. I thought I was Christian, I was like, I believe in a higher power, but, there were so many things that I didn't agree with, like, about homosexuality being wrong. I mean, if there's, a God out there, at the time, this is what I was thinking. If there's a God out there, why would he create us this way only to hate us? And things like that. And, after I moved out on my own and I got out from under the thumb of you must go to church, this is what you must believe, I started talking to Katie about the fact that I did not want to be a Christian anymore, and I wanted to experience new religions before I decided on something for sure. And she told me, you should really look into Asatru. I think it goes along with kind of what you believe. And so I started doing some research about the 9 noble virtues and just about what Asatru is. Asatru, sorry. Sorry, I've been pronouncing it wrong for months now. But after doing some research, really the biggest thing that I saw, it was written by someone who was a heathen, and he talked about from Christianity to heathenry, and he talked about the fact that it was just such a freeing experience for him, because going from a religion that you are born into original sin and you are inherently evil no matter what you do, and you have to make up for it at some point.
Bow your head when you talk to me. Love me or you'll go to hell, but I love you unending.
Right, things like that. And it's very much a religion of supplication that's meant to make you less than. However, he said that when he turned to heathenry, he found just such a sense of confidence in all of this, because you aren't less than the gods. You are their kin. You are their family. And instead of like the tithe that you are you have to do in Christianity to be a good Christian, it's more like, instead of giving back what is theirs already, it's sharing what you have with the gods. And just everything is very basically, don't be an asshole, which is something I've tried to live by for a long time. And there was actually one night when Katie and I were doing a bit of soul searching together, and it was really, I was like, I'm not sure, I really want to do some research into Heathenry and Asatru, and we sat down and we had been doing some stuff, and we were doing
we read tarot cards.
Mm-hmm.
We're working on runes. We're still learning them.
But Katie had asked me to come over and do a tarot reading through some very personal things that she needed. And I told her, I said, well, before we do, let's kind of just, it was our first ever blunt. Yes. We just went outside and she buried a cigarette and I buried my dark chocolate. It was very sad. And then we shared, what was it, wine that we had? Yeah, it was some dark red wine that we had. It was
exactly.
But it was just very much I felt more presence of a higher being there than I ever felt in 25 years of going to Christian church. And so it was like, you know, I'd always felt like there was someone there, you know, trying to guide my path, that sort of thing, but never as strong as I did that night. And it wasn't in a church. It wasn't, you know, supplicating before this great God or whatever. It was
They were just beside us. You could tell they were beside us.
And it was just a like a very calm, like leading and like what's the word? Like, presence. It was very comforting. Sorry, that was a long story.
You're fine. You're fine. It's always interesting to me to hear how everybody comes to it from different aspects, different ways how they found it. It's to me it's awesome to hear. You had mentioned how you've been trying to live by the 9 noble virtues, and that is actually our next topic of discussion.
I almost fell. I almost squished my dog.
Damn, I missed it. Hang on, I gotta figure out how you do that. All right.
I have
So
virtues. Turn it out.
nice. So the nine noble virtues is a set of moral and situational ethical guidelines within Asatru. You'll hear it be called the 9 noble virtues or the 9 noble traditions, 9 noble truths. We go by the 9 noble virtues. That's kind of more of the more known, more used term. Many people believe that they came about as a need for a 10 Commandments type guideline for people coming from other religions, other Abrahamic religions who have a set of dictate. They're actually based on virtues found within the Havamal and the Poetic Edda as a whole. There are 2 sets that our family goes by. It's the 9 noble virtues and the 9 charges. The 9 charges are taken from the Odinic rites developed in the 70s. It's another word I can't say. The 9 noble virtues: courage, truth, honor, loyalty, discipline, hospitality, self-reliance, industriousness, and perseverance. Some of them have different words that they mean the same thing. I don't like big words.
Can I get a read?
So courage.
Virtues.
Can you get a what?
Can you teach us the 9 virtues?
Courage, truth, honor, loyalty, discipline, hospitality, self-reliance, industriousness, and perseverance.
Thank you.
Yep. Do you want to write down the definitions?
No.
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 What is right at all times. That's also honor. Truth. The willingness to be honest and say what one knows to be true and right, even if it's going to hurt other people's feelings. Honor. The feeling of inner value and worth from which one knows that one is noble of being, and the desire to show respect for this quality when it is found in the world. Loyalty. The will to be loyal to one's faith, one's folk, one's self, and the oaths that are taken. We talked about that today.
Mm-hmm.
Discipline.
So fidelity and loyalty.
Discipline.
Are the same, right?
Say that again.
Fidelity and loyalty are the same.
Yes.
You were talking so fast at first, so I went to my thing I had and I just wrote those down and it didn't have loyalty on there. So I was like, oh no.
That works. They're in the same order. I just have a lot of little kids, so I use small words.
Oh, okay.
And yes, my kids are my excuse for those small words. Discipline, the willingness to be hard the willingness to be hard with oneself first, then if needed with others. Hospitality, the willingness to share what one has with fellows, especially when they are far from home. Self-reliance, the spirit of independence, which is achieved not only for the individual, but also for the family, clan, tribe, and nation. Industriousness, the willingness to work hard, always striving for efficiency as a joyous activity in itself. And perseverance. Huh? Oh, that's Nicole's phone.
Sorry.
You're fine. Perseverance, the spirit of steadfastness that can always bring one back from defeat or failure. Each time we recognize failure for what it is, and if the purpose is true and good, we persevere until success is won. Now's the fun part. Trevor.
Yes.
What does loyalty mean to you?
Me? Like specifically to me without definition?
What to you, what does the word loyalty mean? Give me an example of loyalty.
Hey. Oh my God.
Amy, do not help him.
Essentially, to me, loyalty would be basically just basically be bound by what you say.
That's a good one.
Not one of it too.
Oh, that went down hard. Devin, what is your definition of courage?
It's your willingness to face down whatever you need to, despite how afraid or what the consequences to yourself might be.
Can't quite hear her.
Yell it. Say it again, just really loud, Devin. Yeah.
Sorry, I moved away from the microphone. To me, courage means doing what needs to be done, whatever's put in front of you that needs to be done, despite your fear or what the consequences might be to yourself.
Renee, you're going to have honor, so start typing. Nicole, truth.
Always saying what needs to be said, even if it hurts someone's feelings, because it's better to tell the truth than comfort with a lie.
Yep. Renee, did you
We
get
all know
honor yet?
Wait.
Type faster.
No, I didn't mean to build that. No.
All right. Once Renee's done, we'll come back to him. Katie, discipline.
Is training yourself to be better before you can expect other people to. Like, if you can't do something, then why expect somebody else to do it? You should do it.
See, are you here or are you still frozen?
No, I'm here. I just have the flu, so I was sparing you.
Oh, you're fine. You want to take hospitality?
Hospitality. To me, hospitality is caring for people who are in our paths. So as I walk through my day, taking care of the people who are around me.
Perfect. Renee had loyalty, right?
Honor.
No, you had honor. I can't see. Showing respect. Eric, self-reliance.
Taking care of yourself and your issues, and not expecting others to do it for you when you can.
Perfect. Is Jen there?
Oh yeah.
Industriousness.
Industriousness.
Yes.
Staying constructively busy, doing what needs to be done, just getting your work done before you play.
Nice. Amy, perseverance.
Never give up.
Never quit. Never surrender.
Yeah.
Yes, I
We
made the
don't
reference.
fall to our knees. We don't fall to our knees.
I can barely hear you.
Yeah, don't give up.
Never give up. Never surrender.
Okay, these are not the Army values. So close though.
That's Galaxy
Okay.
Quest very much.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I wouldn't
Get
have known
cultured,
that
woman.
anyway. You know what? I will beat you.
You already did beat me.
Okay, so those are the
Anyways, moving on.
the 9 noble traditions. The 9 charges. To maintain candor and fidelity and love and devotion to the tried friend. Though he strike me, I will do him no harm or scathe. Never to make a wrongsome oath, for great and grim is the reward for the breaking and plighted of troth. We'll post these after.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
I'm just like,
Yeah.
they were like,
I've got 9 charges written. That's all I've got written.
I have maintained.
Sorry, okay. Sorry.
I'll post all the notes into the group after. To deal not heartily with the humble and the lowly. To remember the respect that is due to great age. To suffer no evil, to go unremedied, and to fight against the enemies of faith, folk, and my family. My foes I will fight in the field, nor I will stay to be burned in my house. To scour the friendliness, but to put no faith in the pledged word of a strange people. If I hear the fool's word of drunken men, I will strive not, for many a grief, and the very death groweth from out of such things. To give kind heed to dead people, straw dead, sea dead, or sword dead, and to abide by the enchantments of lawful authority, and to bear with courage the decrees of the Norns. Now, one thing I wanted to bring up, in a lot of these you'll hear like loyalty to folk, tribe, kin, family. The Wolves, we are a universalist group. I don't know how far Katie and Devin, y'all have delved into, or whatever that word is, into the heathen community, but you will find 3 terms. Nicole, stop laughing at me. You'll find 3 terms. You'll find tribalist, universalist, and folkish. Do you guys know what those are?
I've
Burn, baby, burn. That's funny.
delved into them.
I have a thought. I think I know what they are, but I want to make sure.
Yeah, go for it.
Universalist, I believe, if I'm not incorrect, means that we believe that all people can be a part of heathenry. Folkist means that you only can be a heathen if you're out of a lineage. and tribalist, I'm not quite sure, but I'm thinking it has to do with all the same stuff.
Yeah, basically, the easiest way I was able to describe it to my children, universalists, we don't care who you are. You can be a mudblood and we'll like you. We don't, as long as you're a good person, you're fine. You can be whatever. Folkish is, you can only be a heathen or practice Asatru if you have 100% Germanic descended bloodline. There are some organizations out there that actually require DNA testing to be done to discover your lineage. That is where the term folk comes from. They believe that the only people worth your time are Germanic descended people. I use the term, it's pretty.
Why? No.
That's stupid. That's
They're
like,
white supremacists.
They're
okay.
neo-Nazis with a better name.
That's something that I was like concerned about, because when I was doing some research about heathenry and Asatru, I saw that a lot of people are saying that it's that are saying it's like the new KKK, and I was like, that doesn't sound like anything like what I'm reading about, like the 9 noble virtues and everything.
Baby screaming.
They are our Westboro Baptist Church.
Exactly.
That's awful. But
Yep. Yeah.
Tribal.
And then tribalist is we get to pick. So if you're gay, we don't care, but if you do underwater basket weaving, we don't want you. It's they get to pick who joins them based on their merit, not their color, Germanic history, any of that. It's just they're selective of who gets to join them.
And that's Ulfer.
Mm-hmm.
I
Can you go
went
check she's screaming?
to oh gosh, it was a radio show, Red something.
oh, it was that Red Ice or whatever.
Red Ice,
It
yeah.
was with Stephen McMahon.
Yeah. And I was listening to that one day and talking about how he's tried and how he has, I don't know, but he could name off different tribes, which was, and I didn't grasp that.
Stephen McNallen is the head of the Asatru Folk Assembly. The longer you're in Asatru or heathen, you will come across them. They're one of the most forspoken, maybe, ones for tribalism. Their information is outstanding. I love his YouTube videos. They are very educational. If you can pick out the neo-Nazism in them.
Oh. Yeah, I kind of got that feeling just a little bit from one that I was listening to.
Yeah, he is the fourth father of the, at least in the U.S., the Asatru neo-Nazis.
Dang it.
We have, but his information's good. If you can pull out the racism in it, it's a very good resource. I really do like his stuff. I do have a lot of his books, and I'm glad that in the majority of the information he puts out, he does leave a little bit of the racism out. So it's not that hard to read through and have to pick it out. I forgot where I was going with this. I lost my train of thought.
Tribal Universalist folk.
Yeah. Tribalist, Universalist, Folkish. We use the term folk just basically meaning friends and family, not my bloodline. So that word to our family is kind of interchangeable. We don't worry about bloodline. I was adopted, and up until about 8 months ago, I think I took the test 8 months ago. I didn't know any of my heritage besides you're Italian. So you can't tell because, like, I'm pale, but I'm actually Italian. So we don't care about bloodline at all. 90% of people in this group's bloodline traces back to some mental institution. We're all crazy. Yeah. So that was where that came from. Normally, Nicole is going to be the one to do the homework or to assign the homework. This week, I did it just because I was in a hurry writing everything. Over the next week, I want you to handwrite the 9 noble virtues. You can write the 9 charges if you want. Handwriting usually helps you retain the information better. Once you've written them, post them somewhere that you can see every day. And just take some time each day to write down how you feel about the 9 and how you feel that you can incorporate them into your daily lives. A lot of us just do that anyway, living it. So this will kind of be a good practice to pinpoint down where you might treat someone with hospitality, or you might have a situation come up where your honor is put into question or something like that. Just spend a little time thinking about the virtues more than you would just on a normal day. Was there anything you wanted to add, Nicole?
No? I think that's good.
Stop singing the banana song. But yeah, that was all I had for today.
Woo, woo, yay.
Yay.
I'm gonna tell Jordan to end the recording.